Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renae Kranz. On today's show, Allison Konomak will be back in the studio with us. She's going to talk about, she's interning with the Lourdes Center now. She's still a Safe Environment Coordinator, but she's interning with the Lourdes Center. And she's going to talk to us about how it's important for a missionary disciple to also be a flourishing human being and how we might do that and what that looks like. And she's also going to tell us about a program that they have called A God Who Knocks, which is for everybody and anybody. So I hope you'll join us for that interview. First, we have Dr. Chris Bergwell waiting patiently to be brought in for Biblical Bites with Dr. B. Very patiently.
Very patiently.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm just so patient. Good. How are you? Good. How are you, Renae?
I'm great.
I'm really working on speaking more clearly and slowly when I'm
Good luck with that.
Audio and video. Yeah, I know. Listen, we can all change.
We can all change.
You and I have talked
You're
about
right.
this before.
Yes.
It's possible for anybody at any stage in life to change.
It is.
By the grace of God in some cases.
And especially if you have an awareness of the thing that needs to change.
Exactly. Like the speed with which I talk.
Right.
So, Renae.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't be bombastic and crazy like you usually are.
Right now, there's a song that... Anyway, all right. What Sunday is it? What Sunday is it?
Oh, no.
28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. First reading.
28th, you said?
28th.
Okay.
First reading is from 2 Kings. It's about Naaman the Syrian. Know Naaman.
Oh.
Good old Naaman.
It sounds like you're talking to me in
The
some
Syrian.
weird slang with the nickname that my nieces and nephews have for me.
So this is from 2 Kings chapter 5. I'll give the context here in a minute, but the reading starts this way. Naaman went down and plunged into the Jordan 7 times at the word of Elisha, the man of God. His flesh became again like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean of his leprosy. Naaman returned with his whole retinue to the man of God, Elisha. On his arrival, he stood before Elisha and said, "Now I know there is no God in all the earth except in Israel. Please accept a gift from your servant." And Elisha refuses the gift. The rest of the reading doesn't matter. It's just the word of God.
We're going to get comments about that. Thanks, Dr. B.
People know that I'm being facetious. Naaman is a Syrian.
Okay.
He's not an Israelite.
Right.
And the Syrians were the enemies of the northern kingdom of Israel at the time. So this is after the northern kingdom and southern kingdom have divided. So David's grandson in the south is ruling in the south. And then there's the other 10 tribes are in the north. So there's division amongst the people, the Jewish, the Israelites. And now you've got the kingdom of Judah in the south, kingdom of Israel in the north. And above the kingdom of Israel is the kingdom of Syria.
Okay.
And the northern kingdom and Syria were always battling. Naaman is an army commander of the Syrians, and he has leprosy.
Mm-hmm.
And in a raid, this is earlier, 2 Kings chapter 5, he heard that it's possible to get healed. So he goes, and Elisha tells him to immerse himself, bathe himself 7 times in the Jordan River. He's like, well, aren't all the other rivers back in Syria just as good? Well, he just does it because it's the simple thing that he's told to do. His servant says, hey, if he didn't ask you to do something really wild and crazy, you would have done it. He's asking you to bathe in the river.
This is pretty easy.
Do it. So he does it. So what's the point of this, though? Jesus brings up the story of Naaman in the Gospels because Naaman is a foreigner, an enemy of God's people. And yet God heals him through Elisha, the prophet. Mm-hmm. God heals him of his leprosy. So this is already anticipating the time of Jesus and then the apostles when God's kingdom will be open to all peoples. Because it's sort of like, pick like a mortal enemy of the United States right now. I have no idea.
Russia?
Putin. Like it's like Putin coming and somebody and God heals our enemy and we're God's people or whatever and he heals our enemy. Well, this is just showing God's desire to save everyone, not just the Israelites. Mm-hmm. So even this man who's the army commander of the Syrians was cleansed. And the other thing to keep in mind, what he's asked to do is pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
I think we have this idea that oftentimes if God is going to do something amazing in our lives, that it's going to require some sort of extraordinary effort or some, who knows what it is.
Jumping through a bunch of hoops.
Oh, on our part. And sometimes he does that because he wants to persevere, but God can do anything in an instant.
Right.
So sometimes he just wants us to do the simple things, and then he gives us his grace and his gifts as a result.
That's a really good reminder. Thanks a lot, Dr. B.
You bet.